Hello everyone and welcome to this week's behind the scenes devlog video, and this week so far has been a little bit dull. Again, I've just been working on the plants, doing all their settings, trying to balance all of their requirements, and there just hasn't really been too much to show you this week. One exciting thing that I did do was to finish off some of the final plant models for the game, and I have now pretty much finished all of the models for Equilinox. There's just a couple more for the swamp biome that I have to do, but I'll probably do them today. But other than that, all of the models for Equilinox are now done. So today I'm going to take a bit of a break from doing all the plant settings, and I'm going to work on some other tasks just so that I actually have something to show you in this video. And I've got a completely free day, so I'm going to be programming all day today, and I'll see how much I can get done. And first today I want to add the option to sort by subcategory in the shops. So it's 9 o'clock now, and the first task of the day is coming along quite nicely. So you can see that I've added a second drop down box into the shop, which is for the subcategories. It's greyed out at the moment, but when I select one of the main categories, I now can choose from a load of subcategories. And obviously the subcategories depend on what main category I choose. So if I choose trees, I get a choice of lots of different types of trees. And the actual filtering isn't working yet, as you can see, but that's what I'll be working on next. And if I choose all in the main categories, then obviously there's no subcategories to show, so it just blocks the second box. Quarter past 10 now, just stopping for a quick break, but I've pretty much finished all of the filtering stuff for the shop now. So the subcategory filtering now works, as you can see here. So for example, if I want to just find all of the flowers, then I can do that quite easily now, and this is obviously going to make it much easier to find the items that you're looking for in the shop. 11 o'clock, and I've just been finishing off the final little loose ends to do with this update. So for example, I changed the colours slightly for when it's greyed out. I also made sure that it starts off greyed out when you enter the shop for the first time, because previously that wasn't happening. And the second box now doesn't show in UIs where it's not needed. So for example, for the tasks here, there's no need for subcategories, so the second box doesn't show here. For the last hour, I've just been going through some more plants, getting some more plants back into the game and trying to balance their environmental requirements. And I've also just been doing all of their settings, setting their description and life length and population count and things like that. And I finished off a few more biomes, but there are still quite a lot of plants still to go. But for now, I'm going to switch and do a different task. Just been doing a bit of modelling, as you saw, and I just made one of the final plant models for the marsh biome. Finally this morning I've been making some more changes to the code for the shop, and I've now made it possible for the shop to remember which category you were looking at the last time you had the shop open. So for example, if I have a look at the flowers here and then I leave the shop, when I come back to the shop you can see that it's still filtered and just showing that category, and it's the same for the tasks and the bonus item shop as well. So it's coming up to 1 o'clock now, and I'm going to stop for a bit and make myself an omelette for lunch. So this afternoon I'm going to be changing something about the breeding system, about how new species are unlocked. So at the moment, the way that you unlock a new species is that you have to meet some requirements in terms of environment or genetics, and then once those requirements have been met, the plant or animal has a chance to unlock the new species every time it breeds. And the reason for having it based on chance is so that it might take a while for that new species to be bred, so you need to make sure that the environment is not only suitable, but also stable and isn't just going to die out after a certain amount of time. However, after a while of playing around with this system, I found that the whole chance thing is quite annoying, because you never know exactly when that new species is going to be unlocked. It's all based on luck, and there's really nothing you can do once you've met those requirements, which means that your progress is based on a certain chance happening, which is rather frustrating because you're not really in control. So this afternoon I'm going to change the system. I'm going to change it from being based on chance to being based on a certain number of breeds. So after breeding X amount of times, the plant or animal will breed that new species and unlock it. So this means that you know exactly when it's going to happen, you can see the progress, and it won't be based on chance and luck. It is 20+4 now, and I've slowly been making progress on the new breeding update. So in the breeding trees, these now display how many times you need to breed a species in order to unlock the child species. And if we have a look at a specific plant in the world, this now displays which child species have already been unlocked, and for any child species that haven't been unlocked, I'm not sure how to display this information yet, but it shows whether the requirements for breeding that new species are met or not, and it also shows how many times you need to breed this plant in order to unlock that child species. So this number will go down every time the plant is bred when the requirements are met, and when that number gets to 0, obviously the new child species is unlocked. But I still have a few problems to fix with this. For example, the game has just crashed, so I'm going to get to work on that now. It is 20+5 now, and I'm pretty much finished with the new breeding stuff. So when you want to unlock a new species, you first go into the breeding tree, check out the requirements, and that now includes the number of required breeds. And in the world here I've got some rosemary, which is growing in an area which meets all of the requirements for unlocking the fern, and if it didn't meet the requirements this would be in red. And it also now shows how close you are to unlocking the fern, and every time the rosemary breeds while the requirements are met, this number will go up. So if I leave them here for a while and just speed this up so that they breed a few times, and I then check what the percentage is, it should now be closer. So I've left these breeding in this area for a while, and you can see that they're getting closer and closer to becoming a fern, and when that reaches 100%, obviously the new fern species will be bred and unlocked. To finish off the afternoon, I've just quickly been doing the settings for some more plant species, so for example the palm tree here. But now I'm going to go for a run in the park and then have some dinner. Back to work after dinner now, and this evening I want to work on another thing to do with the shops, which is that when you close and open a shop again, it doesn't remember which page you are on. And this can be pretty annoying, especially if you're placing objects. So the next thing that I'm going to work on is making sure that the shop opens up at the same page which you left off at. 9:45 now, and I've just finished fixing the issue with the shops, so it now remembers which page you were on as well as which category you were looking at. So you can see that when I open the shop, it opens up at the same page which I just closed. Next up this evening, I've been working on allowing the help panel to be opened up automatically at a certain tab from somewhere else in the UI. So for example, in the task UI, I want to add a little icon here next to the description of each task, and clicking on that icon will automatically open up the help UI at the relevant section. So to test this out, I've just linked up the tabs of the help panel to the number pad on my keyboard, so I can now press a certain number on my keyboard and that will open up the relevant tab in the help panel, and you can see that is all working. So now I just need to link this up with the task UI and add that icon into the task UI. It is midnight midnight now. I don't usually work this late, but it's just a one-off today, and I have now got this new thing with the tasks working, so I can now link a section of the help panel to one of the tasks, and when I do that, this icon appears next to the description for that task. I'm not really sure where to put this icon or what it should look like, but this will do for now. And when you click on this icon, it opens up the relevant section of the help panel. I haven't actually done the information in the help panel yet, so this is just, generic information. But obviously at some point I'll actually fill these in with proper information. So it is 20 to 2 in the morning now. I'm going to get to bed in a bit, and I've just been finishing off the day with some editing and comment answering. but I'm feeling pretty tired now. Good morning everyone, it is 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, and today I've been having a bit of a rethink about the subcategories in the shop. I think there's a much easier way that I could have done it, which I wish I'd thought of yesterday. I probably should have done. But basically, instead of having 2 drop-down menus, I should have just had 1 drop-down menu with sub-menus. So that is what I'm going to implement this morning. So I've been working on the drop-down menu for a while now, and as you can see, I've been making some good progress on that. Not too much left to do now. So as you can see, all the items that have subcategories have arrows next to them, and when you mouse over them, they create an extra drop-down menu, which will of course contain the subcategories. And it didn't actually take too long. A lot of the code that I wrote yesterday was still useful, and I didn't have to redo too much. So that was good. It wasn't all for nothing yesterday. So I have now completely finished working on the new drop-down menu, and you can see that all of the subcategories are now showing, and I can of course select a subcategory if I want to. So for example, if I just wanted to see the flowers in the shop, I can go to small plants and then click on flowers, and that obviously just shows the flowers. So that is all now completely working, and I think it's a lot nicer than having 2 drop-down menus here. So that is pretty much going to be it this week in terms of Equilinox. For the rest of the day today, I'm just going to be doing editing for this video, and then tomorrow I want to do some work on the tutorials, because it's been a while since the last one, and I'd like them to become a regular feature once again. Next week I'll be probably just working on the plants again, but after next week I'll be getting back to work on the animals, and that will be much more exciting with all the different behaviours. And then once all the animals are in the game, there won't be too much left to do. But for this week, that is pretty much it. Before I finish, I need to give a big shout out to the top Patreon supporters from last month, who were Stefan, Danny D, Blue Nova, Daniel Thean, Alexander Chavez, Benjamin Fuller, Crazy Rusky, and Timothy Gibbons. So a massive thank you to you guys, and of course to everyone who's been helping me out on Patreon and basically keeping this whole thing going. So thank you guys very much for watching this video. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you all next time.